it's Martin Malik again. This time it's going to be a bit funny and a bit serious, just like in real life. Our Winning Paths podcast is a great resource for archery enthusiasts. It is recorded fortnightly and new episodes are published every following Sunday. The podcast features a mix of monologues and interviews, covering a wide range of archery topics. If you have any suggestions for content or would like to share your knowledge, sporting achievements or ideas for the future, please get in touch with us at tfam.news. We are always looking for ways to improve the podcast and provide more value to our listeners. So stay tuned and keep listening to Winning Paths. And now, without further ado, to the point. Grab your quivers and join me in this journey back in time, where archery wasn't just a sport, it was the Paleolithic Olympics. Picture this: Neanderthal announcers with perfectly coiffed fur, sitting on rocks, providing riveting commentary as Homo sapiens competed for the title of longest distance bow shot. And here we have Homo sapiens, folks, attempting to win the gold in the 100-meter arrow dash. Oh, he missed the mammoth. That's going to cost him. Neanderthals are leading in the synchronized rock throwing, but humans are showing promise in the crafting uniform arrowheads category. It's a tight competition, folks. In this historical saga, the bow takes center stage as the unsung hero of our ancestors' conquest of the planet. Bow and arrow, the OG distance relationship experts. Scientists are playing detective with arrowheads, baby teeth, and stone tools that look suspiciously arrowhead-like. It's like a Paleolithic crime scene investigation, but instead of a smoking gun, they have a smoking arrow. Our Homo sapien ancestors were the ultimate DIY enthusiasts, crafting standardized tools that were the envy of Neanderthals. It's like modern humans were the IKEA of prehistoric weaponry, while Neanderthals were more into bespoke, one-of-a-kind tools. Talk about industrial revolution envy. And just when you think modern humans had it all figured out with their cool bows and arrows, the plot thickens. The settlers at Grotte Mandrin, armed with their technological prowess, vanished without a trace. It's like the world's first episode of Ancient Settlements. Where did they go? Turns out, being a specialist in bow making wasn't a sustainable career in the Paleolithic gig economy. A small group of experts couldn't pass on their knowledge, and before you know it, modern humans were hitting the unemployment cave. As if job insecurity wasn't enough, climate change decided to throw a curveball. Imagine explaining to your Paleolithic buddies, well, we can't find the right wood for our bows anymore because climate change wiped out our favorite tree species. Talk about the original eco-conscious dilemma. The Grotte Mandrin saga teaches us that even early humans faced failed settlement attempts, making it the ancient equivalent of a real estate bubble burst. Move over, Atlantis. We've got Grotte Mandrin, the lost colony that just couldn't survive the Paleolithic real estate market. So, tune in to this podcast where bows, arrows, and ancient settlers take center stage in a drama that's more riveting than a Neanderthal rock concert. Will Homo sapiens make a comeback, or will they forever be the lost lineages of our species? It's the Paleolithic soap opera we never knew we needed. The bow is said to be an obsolete weapon overtaken centuries ago by firearms. Nevertheless, it is a tool that has accompanied man for thousands of years, having won a unique place and role in the creation of our history over the centuries. Archery was instrumental in the conquest of the planet by Homo sapiens, helping modern humans to emerge from the African plains tens of thousands of years ago. The bow predominantly allowed early hunters to kill at a distance, increasing their chances of getting the necessary protein into their diet without having to put themselves in danger. This happened a very long time ago, much longer than we have assumed so far. The oldest finds of arrowheads give us a historical perspective of 64,000 years. The earliest evidence of archery outside of Africa are finds of arrowheads dating back 48,000 years, discovered in a cave in Sri Lanka in 2020. However, it seems that this date is also about to be pushed back a good 6,000 years following a discovery by scientists led by Ludovic Slimak of the University of Toulouse in the Grotte Mandrin cave of the Rhone Valley. The finds included a baby tooth of a modern man and a collection of small pointed stone tools that closely resemble arrowheads in appearance. Scientists are still looking for confirmation as to whether the discovered objects are in fact arrowheads, for if they were, it would mean that modern humans gained a crucial advantage over the Neanderthals, with whom they shared Europe at the time. A man with a bow at a distance of 100 meters would have dulled the vigilance of the animal. That did not take him as a threat, since, according to it, he appears too distant to pose a threat, so it would not move from its place, explained Mr. Slimak in an interview with The Observer. According to him, the use of bow and arrows makes hunting easier and reduces the risk of injury to the hunter. Another scientist, Professor Chris Stringer of the Natural History Museum in London, points out that the invention of the bow and arrow occurred at a similar time in many corners of our planet, making this invention a fundamental advance in our species development. The key thing about making a bow is that you need to know the qualities of the material from which it is made. The right kind of wood with the right elasticity, as the inside of the bow needs to withstand a lot of compressions, while its outer part needs to work by stretching. It also takes expertise in making the string, arrowheads, and arrow shafts. In a phrase, you have to be an expert at making such a tool to be effective and serve its purpose well. Indeed, the tools revealed at Grotte Mandrin were all highly standardized. Mr. Slimak pointed out that Neanderthals were able to make excellent stone tools, but each tool remained unique. In contrast, those made by modern humans were very light, compact, and uniform in size, more like outcome of industrial production. The discovery at Grotte Mandrin pushes back the date of the first appearance of modern humans in Western Europe by about 12,000 years further into history than previous estimates had suggested. However, despite their technical skills, these settlers did not survive. With the passage of some 40 years, traces of the presence of modern humans on the Rhone disappear. Having spent their entire lives in the region, this generation vanishes from the archaeological record. As many as 2,000 years pass, and the site is repopulated by Neanderthals. So what happened to this early group of modern human colonizers? Mr. Slimak believes that there were up to 100 men, women and children at the Grotte Mandrin settlement who were descendants of modern humans arriving from the Levant by way of the Mediterranean coast. It seems that there were apparently too few of them to preserve their biological mass, and for whatever reason, they could not exchange genes with the local Neanderthal people. Perhaps they did not have a suitable relationship with them, or the fertility between them was poor. This assumption has been endorsed by Professor Stringer. For if we take a small group of men, women and children, it is very likely that it contains only a few specialists, as people skilled in crafting crucial elements like bows and arrows, individuals with knowledge about the wood to be used in the making process of the bow, and others who might be able to make bowstrings, etc. If something happens to these people, or even one of them, then the community is at risk, as if they would not pass their knowledge to others in the group. Mr. Stringer also recognized that climate change may have affected the Grotte Mandrin group. There are only a few tree species whose wood is flexible and strong enough to make bows. So if there was a change in climate, these trees may have become rarer or even completely extinct, and the group may have found that they were unable to replace their bows and arrows. Their reliance on technology left them vulnerable to the whims of nature. The Grotte Mandrin foothold seems to have been one of several failed settlement attempts by modern humans in Europe before the final overtake of the continent. Sites in Romania and the Czech Republic also provide insight for researchers with discovered specimens over there, dated back 40,000 to 50,000 years. However, analyses of the bones have yielded genetic profiles that have no equivalent among modern Europeans. As Stringer put it, these are some of the lost lineages of our species. Turns out, the bow and arrow were the original long-distance relationship experts, helping early humans play hard to get with their dinner. Take that, Neanderthals. Modern humans were the ultimate archers, not just in love, but in survival too. The Grotte Mandrin crew were the cool kids of the Paleolithic era, rocking standardized tools, while Neanderthals were still into that unique, handcrafted vibe. But hey, climate change and a lack of bow-making tree species can really mess up a good thing. Lesson learned: always diversify your survival toolkit, just in case Mother Nature decides she's not a fan of your favorite gadget. Hashtag bow and arrow goals, hashtag survival of the kit tested. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If so, please check back again. Shoot straight and to the point. See you all at the range.